Yes. Um, Heidi filed for a dissolution of marriage on May 24th of 2012. Yes. I was given 90 days to respond. Right. I went to the children in the middle of class. Yes. She filed for a fraudulent motion for default dissolution of marriage. Yes. Hmm. There was a motion hearing, an emergency motion hearing on August 27th of 2012, and I've already told you that was against the law. You cannot have emergency. Well, let's read the Dissolution of Marriage Family Guide because you cannot allow for an emergency motion hearing. Not only was it fraudulent that she didn't use the right last name, it was fraudulent on the part of the court to allow for an emergency ex parte motion hearing without. See, it's back to this whole concept of notice and hearing. Yes, it is. Every time you motion the court, pooh, all the parties named, yes. They do have to get all the paperwork submitted, Pooch. Now, you just put it online and you didn't think it was necessary to inform me that my wife, oh, or you did, oh, Sheriff's Return of Service on 8/29 of 2012. Now, this idea of constitutional law, yes, it is, where you gave her an emergency default dissolution of marriage hearing, right? When it doesn't work like that, no. No, it doesn't. What happens is you wait after 90 days, and she went in there on the 24th or the 27th. I responded on the 24th. Well, we do know that it's the day that the actual respondent received the actual paperwork for the dissolution of marriage. Uh-huh. Now, now, this failure to follow relevant rules, yes, dissolution of marriage rules, results incorrectly filing the motion in many counties, deviation from the procedural requirements for motion setting, in the hearing being stricken or canceled by the court. Exactly why did you entertain this motion hearing? Why wasn't it stricken? Why wasn't the petitioner told somebody that had been married twice before that we can't have an emergency ex parte motion for default when your husband responded within the 90 days allowed by law? Now I'm going to sue you for the fraudulent motioning of the contempt of court. Yes. Of Mrs. Hodges, and then I'm going to sue you for having court hearings that were absolutely unnecessary. Sorry about that. Now, sheriff's return of service. Okay. Okay. Now, on 9/4 of 2012, so then on 9/4 of 2012, notice for trial setting. Did you serve me for the 9/14 of 2012? Yes. Now, why wasn't I there? Why didn't I go to the settlement conference setting hearing? Oh, uh, does anybody know that? If you served me on the 4th of 2012 and you had the hearing 10 days later, yes, notice for trial setting on 9/14. In 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 Snohomish County, you'd have to give me 12 days notice. Yes. King County, it was 14 days. Pooch. I think giving me 10 days notice from 9/4/2012, not notice for trial setting. Yes. That's what you served on me, that we're going to have a settlement conference setting hearing. Yes. And so the sheriff's return of service was not the actual motion for the default dissolution of marriage. Maybe somebody wants to look right now. Now, we'll get this out, but just thinking it was 10 days later, yes, 9/4/2000, notice for trial setting action, 8/29. Nope, it couldn't have been that sheriff's return of service. No, no. Uh, I don't think I was served before that one. No, you weren't. Now, considering 914, so 9-4, somebody set a trial setting action for 10 days later. Yes, I was getting confused there. Maybe you've experienced that before. The slight confusion in how it's possible that you could actually set a settlement conference setting hearing without allowing the actual minimum number of days. Poo 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 poo. Now you're going to get sued for this. I'm sorry, but there's no possible way, inclusive of an actual September, okay. 14th, yes, okay. Now I'm going to research it in the court rules, yes, of 2012, okay, September 14th. Oh, now let's look at the month. Yes, you had a court hearing on a Tuesday, right? You set the actual hearing for the September 14th, yes. Now, when you had this hearing, right, giving me 5 judicial days before the hearing, right, you would have had to serve me on 1, 2, 3, 4, right, you would have had to serve me on the 7th. Yes, 5 judicial days before the court hearing. But I'm thinking family law actually has a longer period of time than the 5 judicial days of of what was explained in the manual. Now, if King County requires 14 days notice before court hearings, yes. And Snohomish County requires 12 days before court hearings. What's to say that Clallam County requires 10 days before court hearings? What's to say? Not only did you not attempt service, you scheduled the actual hearing. Now, as I said, I'm going to find out. But when I did read that, for any family law court hearing, yes, that's actual 6 judicial days. Now I know. I'm sure Brent Basden made sure that he always gave enough time for the actual service. Yes, of all the parties before having court hearings to at least 6 days notice of a hearing. Now, Snohomish County 12 days, King County 14 days prior to the date the hearing is to take place. Yes. Was there any actual documentation, parties, so on and so forth, temporary order hearing? uh, that the petitioner brought with her to that? I mean, there's a declaration. Yes. Proposed parenting plan? Yes. Did you receive that on the day of the. Okay, let's say as a named party. Yes. You you didn't give me the court rules? Yes. This constitutional concept that was found in the. Yes. Local or local family law court rules usually contain the specifics regarding notice and should be consulted prior to filing any motion for temporary orders. Now, this is a temporary order motion hearing. Mm. Notice of hearing, right. Motion declaration of temporary order. Yes. Um, I don't think he gave me enough days, just so you know, and not serving me happens to violate these these constitutional concepts of civil rules and relevant counties, local and or local family law rules. They're different than the civil rules. Yes, yes, yes. Of the issuance of the concept of adequate notice. Yes, stems from a party's constitutional right to participate, as in I have the right to participate in any legal action. Yes, he does. In which they are a party. A failure to comply with a particular county's notice requirements and setting a temporary orders hearing by motion will result from. Oh, you might have to read the judge's manual. There's 832 fucking pages in it. Now, all of these are illegal. Yes. Every temporary order. Yes. Everything that was admitted for the the trial setting, settlement conference setting. Yes. When I, as a named party, did not receive copies of those, that was a fraudulent settlement conference setting hearing. Yes, it was. I'm going to sue you for not requiring me to have every document. Yes, I'm sorry. Now, there was a notice of hearing on 10/5 of 2012. Right. You declared that you mailed it on 9/25 of 2012. Now, I just wanted to know, okay, how many days? Well, I'm going to find out what the court rules say. Yes. Every document that was admitted during that dissolution of marriage after I responded, yes, was fraudulent. You're completely. Now, every document. Ooh, this concept, yes. Hmm Gendered in the Constitution, notice on a pragmatic level means that the other party must be served all paperwork submitted for the hearing, including the document which reveals the day, date, time, and location of the hearing within a certain number of days of the hearing. Do you understand what it says? Not only did you issue a dissolution of marriage, yes, that happens to violate United Nations conventions and laws. the dic- well, well,